Hello, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to Tokyo Dark. Last time we adventured around Tokyo gathering clues of the mysterious collector, and now have just descended into their lair. And apparently, the game started off a little bit. Oh god, that was creepy. But yeah, we have seen this dialogue already. Who's there? Look around you. Interesting, isn't it? It is said the cranes grant a wish. What is it you wish for? Never been one to believe in the wishes. Are you him? The collector? Collector. Crow, one of many names given to me over the years. But we have no time to waste on such boring, trivial things as introduction. Don't you want to know who I am? Oh, I know who you are, Detective Ito. Or should I say investigator? So hard to keep straight. I suppose it's irrelevant what you call yourself as now, as you've arrived exactly where you need to be. Something's different. Yes, what is it, I wonder? That's it. You're like me, after a fashion. You see things differently from those around you. The world is not so solid and unchanging as it is for them. Things bend, they break. Am I wrong? No. Nothing's been the same since Kamakura. Yes, of course. The girl you murdered, Reina. Was that your fault? And this is where we finished last time. Something made me, of course it wasn't, I never meant to. I'm gonna go with something made me. Then you are a puppet? Dancing at the end of your strings to a tune you cannot hear? No, that's not what I said. I'm no one's puppet. Are you sure, detective? Do you really feel like everything you've done is under your control? When faced with the impossible, you're so certain that every choice you make is your own. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like they're made for me. Which is easier, I wonder? The knowledge that the cause of all your suffering and your joy is of your own doing, or someone else's. I don't have time for this. Of course. Our conversation has tilted towards the philosophical, but you are not here for philosophy. You want something more tangible. I want information. Facts. No, it's my business to know what people desire, and that is not what you seek. What is it that you want, truly? Tanaka. I want to know what really happened to him. No, it's not only that. I want to know what's happening to me, too. Nothing makes sense anymore. I'm tired of chasing after clues that lead to dead ends. Perhaps I can be of some help to you. But first, please indulge me. I have a few questions. I'm curious, so curious. You're a unique visitor after all. Yes, nothing like the others. Fine. What do you want to know? The night of your partner's disappearance. You got on your knees and begged for help with tears in your eyes. Not very typical behavior for a detective, is it? It worked. Doesn't matter how it looked. It got results, didn't it? What is this? Some sort of psych test? I came here for answers. Enough with these games. It's no game, detective. I can give you what you seek. This is my prize. That's it. If you wanted information to use against me, seems you've already got enough. Blackmail? How pedestrian. Simplistic. No, I've no interest in that. Then what do you want? Everything I collect brings me closer to an understanding, much like you. Only the puzzle I assemble is considerably larger, and the piece you provide is well worth the trouble. Shall we continue? Do I have a choice? You've already made it. You show such little patience, detective. Surprising, considering the effort you took to get here. The girl, Reina, she's the one you've been chasing, yes? Let's talk about her. Why didn't you shoot her again in the sewer? She was holding your dear Tanaka at knife point. Why didn't you pull the trigger? She was already dead. I didn't want to hurt anyone. Maybe for a police officer it sounds soft, but I didn't want anyone to get hurt. Even with Tanaka at the end of the knife, I thought it might end peacefully. Interesting. Most interesting. Though she's gone, the sleepless nights continue, don't they? You've taken your pills twice. Is that enough to make a difference? Do they help? Does it not make you question the futility of it all? Most interesting. Perhaps you've told me enough. Yes, this is most useful. I accept this trade. In return, you want... What was it? Ah, yes, that's right. A path, a way forward. I suppose it's your turn to ask question now. Kinda want to ask what are you, but... Yeah, let's go with that. A dressmaker, a cat breeder, a blackmailer. Seems that no one in this town can agree on anything about you, except your name. There's no way anyone could know what to do. It's impossible. So what are you? Take a look around you. Is it not familiar? Can you not smell it? The stench of corruption? I've been here for so long, longer than you can imagine. Feeling the desires, the loves, the hatred of mankind flow through this place. For you, detective, I am exactly who you need me to be. Now, shall we return our attention to the matter at hand? Our trade, after all, was not for the knowledge of how I fit into your story. It was for a way to clear the... How did you put it? Ah, yes, to clear the dead ends you run up against. Let us consider your problem. Where is Tanaka? Where is Tanaka? Is he alive? In the dark. Where he lives? That is more difficult. The dark. That is not the first time I've heard it. What is it? Where can I find it? The better question is, where it cannot be found. Can you not feel it around you, following you at every turn? It pays great mind to those within its walls. You know of whom I speak. The common thread that binds all the misery in your heart, Reina. And if that's where she is, Tanaka must be there too. The girl's thread is a complicated one, yes, very tangled. It begins in Kabukicho, at a talent agency called Omega. Kabukicho. I know it well enough. As I imagine any officer of the law would. The dark is a sacred place. It lives and breathes, changes shape and goes where it pleases. And it is the girl whose suffering determines its shape. Without understanding its root, you will never find your way. Or it could tear you apart, like it almost has already. How about the mask then? I don't know why, but I get the hunch that you'll know what this is. What is it? Reina was obsessed with it. It must be important, but I can't figure it out. Ah, I see. The most interesting relic. It makes people do the most fascinating things. You even attacked a fellow officer to get it. Did you not? Totally not. Why did Reina want it so badly? It is a tool. Instead of living in fear of it, why not use it? It may be the key that will help you find your precious Tanaka. Though as powerful as it is, one cannot expect to use it knowing nothing about it. You said it yourself, it all started in Kamakura. The Kawanas have quite a history with that mask. The Kawanas? The shrine maiden girl? Her grandmother was the one who gave it to me. The very same. It gives me the creeps. Maybe I should have gotten rid of it. Don't do that. You'll never find your way without it. The mask and the dark are inexorably linked. Pursuing one without the other is futile. Now, you are an enemy of the dark. It will reject you without understanding it, and you will be lost without the necessary tool. How will I know when the path's been opened? Ask your puppet master. My end of the bargain has been upheld. You seem awfully eager to help me. Also, you are still kind of fuzzy. What's the catch? Something tells me I'm going to regret talking to you. Paranoia. An unnecessary feeling. As I said, people fascinate me. Especially ones as unique as yourself. You are a detective. I've only given you the tools you need to finish the job. From there, now that is the interesting part. I look forward to seeing your progress. Consider your debt to me partially repaid. The rest I shall collect at another time. Wait, what? Tell me, my little puppet, if you can see your strings, does your dance not continue? Until we meet again. The air in the collector's basement was stagnant and heavy. If I had stayed any longer, I felt like it may have suffocated me. For the time I was there, Akihabara faded into a distant memory. I returned to the surface, put my hand to my shield to shield my eyes from the sunlight, and listened to people on the street. Their conversations seemed so pointless, part of the world I no longer belonged in. The busy sounds of the streets swept the cobwebs from my mind, forcing me to remember everything I told the collector and everything he impossibly knew. I told him so much, but did I have a choice? Maybe he was right and I was a puppet after all. At that moment it didn't matter. The dark and the mask both belonged to the world I was now a part of. Normal methods of investigation wouldn't lead me to them. Countless paths were narrowed to two, and I had no choice but to march forward towards the leads I've been given. As I left Akihabara behind, one thing bothered me. How did the collector know so much about me? Was I really so easy to read? I didn't have time to dwell on it. Kazuki and Reina were in the dark. That much had been all but confirmed, and now I had a means, however impossible, to find them. Two paths, the mask and the dark, both were necessary, and I had to make a choice of which to follow first. Chase was after a talent agent in Tokyo's red light district, or back to Kamakura to visit Mai, the girl I nearly got killed. Neither seemed very appealing. My logical side didn't understand how either would help, but as everything around me cracked and crumbled away, logic didn't matter anymore. I had to choose. Or maybe something would choose for me. Okay, so are you referring to me? Am I your puppet master? That's an interesting thought. I think I'm gonna go to the Kamakura first. I came here to find out about the mask, but there's something I've got to do first. 6 months ago, I sent one girl to the morgue and very nearly killed another. Since then, I'd thought of coming here to apologize to my kawana countless times, but I couldn't will myself to see her and be faced with my failure. I think of the fear and hurt in her eyes, and I feel nothing but shame. For my own peace of mind, I need to tell her the truth about that day and about how I lost control. Hopefully, she can find it in herself to forgive me enough to help me with my investigation of the mask. Wait, it's fall. Why are the cherry blossoms blooming? It's like nothing's changed since that day. Is this going to break the fourth wall, like Doki Doki Literature Club did? Oh, hello, you're here. I did not expect that, but hello. Cherry blossoms fell gently at my feet as I approached Kawana family shrine. In front of me was my kawana, still dressed in the outfit of the shrine maiden. She had seen me approach and stood there frozen and terrified, the same helpless look on her face as when she had a knife to her throat months before. This time, it was me she was terrified of. We were the only two people at the shrine, yet I couldn't shake the feeling of being followed. A familiar presence watching from the shadows. Oh! Hello? Oh shit! No! No, 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 no! Fuck me! Don't do this! I refuse! I refuse! I will not click that! No, I won't do it. Why now? Why her? I don't have to do what you say. I'm not a puppet. I can choose. That was the right choice, apparently. You, the detective from before, why are you just standing there? Is it over? I'm fine. I'm sorry to scare you. I'm here to talk to you. See, I've never been good at apologies. I'm sorry for everything I put you through. I've been meaning to talk to you ever since that day. I should have come sooner. You're here to apologize? Now? I didn't hear from anyone in 6 months. The police only talked to me once, and then everyone here started avoiding me and acting like it never happened. I guess that makes me the last person you'd want to see now. After that day, I'm sure some police came by and told you that I was only following procedure, but that's bull. Police in this country don't go around shooting people. I didn't feel myself and lost control, putting you at risk. Sounds vague to say I lost control at such crucial time, I bet. But that's the truth. The truth? It's strange, isn't it? The cherry blossoms, I mean. It's silly, but every time someone comes here and says how beautiful they are, I get so mad. It's like they don't understand my feelings at all. But that's selfish, huh? It's not like I want everyone to suffer along with me. I imagine the only other one who understands that is you, Detective. Your name's Ito, right? It's so quiet here. It's hard to imagine something like that day in April really happened, in a place so peaceful. But it did. I know that you and your partner were only doing what you could to save me, but I wish I could have helped. I felt so helpless. At least you told me the truth. Thank you. You know, I asked Grandma about the mask the red-haired girl was after, and she denied knowing anything. But it was a lie. I found one of her old journals at the shrine, and she wrote that the mask was important and had to be hidden away. Why would she lie to me? I'm sick of everyone trying to protect me by covering everything up. Grandma hasn't been the same since that day either. She shuts herself up in that old house and mumbles to herself about the darkness and purity. So I'm worried about her. My gut tells me that mask has something to do with it. I'm sorry, listen to me rambling away. I bet you don't care about any of that. The truth is, I think you're right about the mask having something to do with all this strangeness. I actually came here to ask you about it. You think so too? Then let me help you. I don't know anything, but maybe Takashi does. Oh, sorry, Takashi is my brother. He used to live here in Kamakura with me and Grandma, but he left the first chance he got. We talk on the phone all the time, but he refuses to come back and visit. I get the feeling he knows something I don't. He won't even tell me about how my parents died. Where does your brother live now? He's an instructor at the Kendo dojo in Asakusa in Tokyo. I hear he's a big shot in Kendo world. It sounds like he'd be a good place to start. Do you think he'll speak to me? You can try. He's never been very good at opening up to strangers, though. Oh, it's worth a shot. Thanks for helping me, Mai. My investigation up to that point led me to believe that finding Takashi Kawana would be difficult and convoluted, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Turns out his kendo dojo was well regarded as a popular training spot for a few national champions and several of the city's police officers. The latter made me nervous. The information I was asking for was sensitive, and I didn't want word of my investigation finding its way back to HQ. A few misfired questions could end up with officers knocking on my door, or worse, Yukimura himself calling me up. I had to be cautious. Well, let's go then. What are you? Inside is the interior of the traditional tea shop, but it doesn't look like anyone's been there recently. Okay, hello. Who are you? Buy octopus balls? No, I don't think so. Who are you? A friend of mine. Ah, shit. You're a friend of my sister's? You expect me to believe that? A little old, don't you think? Gee, thanks. Really? You think I wouldn't recognize you? You're the officer who was at the shrine in April who almost got her killed. And now you're lying about it, pretending to be her friend and no doubt to get something from me. Don't look so shocked. Your little deception was easy to read is all. After your idiocy in Kamakura, I heard Mai crying over the phone every night for a month. Don't bother her anymore. Now get out of here, before myself or anyone your fellow officers has to throw you out. Well, that went well. Maybe Mai will know how to soften her brother up. I think I managed to find your brother. He didn't exactly seem happy to see me. Yeah, you found Big Brother all right. He's been protective of me ever since we were little. I know I'm probably overstepping my boundaries, but would you be willing to come talk to him? I don't think he'll tell me anything on my own. You want me to help? You know, Seeing you again really got me thinking. I decided that even if everyone's trying to hide it, I can't sit here and ignore what's happening. I need to understand why my family has been acting so strangely. Even my own brother is keeping me in the dark. I'm sick of it. Sure, I'll come with you, Ido. If I went alone, he'd probably pat me on the head and send me on my way. But if you're there, I'm sure he'll tell me about my parents, the mask, and everything. Are you sure that's what you want? Sometimes not knowing is better, Mai. No. No more stupid little Mai. I'd rather be hurt and know than happy and ignorant. But before we go, let's check on Grandma. These days, if she doesn't know where I am, it can really set her off. Alright, we'll make a quick stop at the house. Thanks, Mai.
Wait, what is she doing here?
It's okay, Grandma. She's here to help.
Help? Ha! Don't make me laugh. You were supposed to help me, remember? I felt something and you were going to free me from my past.
Free you? I'm talking about the mask.
Do not discuss that horrid thing here.
No matter how far you go, I can still feel it. Like needles in my skin dragging me to it. In my dreams, I can still see that place. Have you seen it too, Detective?
A dark place where those we've lost reside. I'm so old and have wasted so much time, and yet the pain won't go away.
My poor Emiko. I miss her so much. If only I could have found her. Emiko? You mean Mom? Find her? What are you talking about? She's gone. Takashi told me she died after I was born.
Yes, of course. You shouldn't be asking about such things, Mai. If it weren't for this woman, you'd be safe at the shrine.
No, Grandma, you're wrong. I'm not safe while everyone lies to me. I'm going to see Takashi. If you don't tell me the truth, he will.
Mai, listen to yourself. You need to stop. Opening the door to the past will solve nothing. Ever since you were little, I've done what I could to protect you and your brother. Please don't go down this path.
You look so much like her, you know. Your mother.
And you, Detective. Perhaps my granddaughter is too naive to see it, but you can't hide it from me. I know what you've seen, what you think you're able to do, but keep my family out of it. We've suffered enough.
You don't know anything about me, and besides, I'm not the one hiding things from my family.
Tell me, do you know the story of Izanagi and Izanami?
Grandma, this again? I'm sure Ido is not interested in hearing some old myth. Really, we should get going.
Stay right there. Though I've told you this story so many times, you don't seem to grasp its importance. I think it would be use to this woman to hear it. Izanagi and Izanami were the first of the gods, known to us as the kami. In legend, it was the drops of ocean water that fell from Izanagi's jeweled spear that created the islands of Japan. When they descended to our lands, they brought their love, devotion with them to the realms of mortals. Izanagi and Izanami had many children, the deities of nature that inhabit the natural world all around us. For a time, life was peaceful. However, as Izanami gave birth to Kagoshushuchi, the kami of fire, she was horribly burned and suffered mortal wounds. As she lay dying and faced with her mortality, new kami were born from her suffering, kami that hid away from the light. When Izanami passed, Izanagi was inconsolable in his rage, and in his rage he struck down the child that killed his love. Unable to accept her death, he ventured deep underground to Yomi no Kuni, the land of the dead. Half blind and distraught with grief, he wandered in the darkness until he finally heard the voice of his beloved. Though unable to see her face, Izanagi begged Izanami to return with him. Izanami replaced that she would try and ask the gods of Yomi no Kuni permission to return to the land of the living. Incapable of restraining his desire to see his love, Izanagi set his calm light in order to look upon his lost love. What greeted him was the sight of decaying, worm-eaten face. In horror, Izanagi attempted to flee Yomi no Kuni. Izanami, enraged, sent dark spirits to pursue him and drag him back to her. After narrowly escaping, Izanagi sealed the entrance to Yomi no Kuni with a great boulder. So you see, it is our mortality that brings suffering into the world, yet resisting it is a perversion of the natural order. Being mortal means we must accept that we cannot control life and death. Detective, some things cannot be changed, and some doors should never be opened. You must stop. Grandma, you're talking about stories and myths. We're talking about real things. The story may be a myth, but there's truth within it. Can't you see that? The things you pursue, they're unnatural, unclean. Heed my warning and stop this foolishness. I won't let you involve my family any further. First those bastards take my Emiko and then you show up. Perhaps I'm being punished for my sins. Mai, come here, my sweet child. We must keep you away from her.
No, Grandma, I told you already. I'm going to see Takashi. I'm adult now. You can't tell me what to do anymore.
No, you can't. You can't go. We must protect our family from outsiders, Mai. You're reopening old wounds. Leave us alone. Let us heal.
Heal? You think I want to heal? Can't you see how much those lies have hurt me already? You're the one wounding me, Grandma, not Ito. You're delusional. You tell us stories about kami and spirits. Takashi might hide things from me too, but at least he makes sense. This time he's going to tell me the truth about everything, about Mom and Dad too.
No! Stop! I'll tell you
You can't, can you? You've never told me how they died. The reasons always changed every time I asked.
No, Mai, please, you must listen. They might be listening. They're still out there, and they haven't forgiven me, can't you see?
Hey, what are you talking about? You're insane. I'm sorry I speak to you that way. I'll be back to check on you soon.
Don't go, please.
Goodbye, Grandma.
Whoa, where do you think you're going?
Mai and I are leaving, what of it?
Oh, well, you can't. I got a call from Mai's grandmother and she says she's having health issues, so she has to stay. I didn't ask what they were, wouldn't want to be caught fainting on my shift again, but it must be pretty bad if she called.
Mai is an adult. Her grandmother can't keep her here. Let's go.
No, you don't understand. You're not going anywhere. I'm gonna have to punch you. I'm sorry.
Oh dear. Ito, what are you doing? Is he going to be okay?
He'll be up again in a few hours.
Why did he stop us like that? He's never done that before. Still, you shouldn't have done that.
He'll be fine. Let's go.
Wait, we can't just leave him here. What if he's hurt?
Mai, let's go. He might not be the only one who wants to stop us. Plus, I've punched people before, so I know how to hit without damaging them permanently.
But... Fine, let's go.
Mai, what are you doing here? Did she make you come?
It's not like that, Takashi. It was my idea. I asked her to come talk with you, but you sent her away.
This woman almost got you killed. You expect me to cooperate with her? If you need to talk to me, you can come yourself. My sister doesn't need to be involved.
No! If I came alone, you'd just evade all my questions like you always do. Besides, there is something I need you to see.
See what? What are you talking about? Where did you get that? Put it away.
So you do know what it is. I knew you were hiding something from me.
That is not true. I wasn't hiding it. It's not something you ever needed to know about. Besides, why is she carrying it in the first place?
Don't change the subject. This isn't about Ito.
Mai, I understand that you're upset with me, but we should talk about this another time. Furthermore, that mask has nothing to do with you.
You're wrong. Back in April, when Mai was held at knife point by another girl, it was this mask she was after. A mask your family is connected to.
Looking for it.
I suppose I've been a fool to think I could keep the truth of our family's past away from you. The past? Does this have to do with Mom and Dad?
Yes, and so much more. I first saw the mask when I was a child, before you were born. The truth is, it belonged to a cult called Kamen Kai, of which our parents were members.
A cult?
You're kidding. How'd your parents get mixed up in that? I know how it sounds. I find it hard to believe myself. They were a group led by a guru named Tokimasa, who promised a simpler life away from the hypocrisy and falseness of city life. Our parents both had master's degrees, and my mother was on her way to earning her PhD. They chose to give up their lives and their careers to follow some mystic and live on a compound instead. The Kamen Kai were one of many such groups back then. I was a child and didn't understand, but thinking about how our parents were deceived and what they put me and Mai through, it's unforgivable. The mask was on the compound, but for what purpose or what they believed it could do, I don't know.
Do you think there are any members of the Kamenkai left who'd know?
No. You see, there are no surviving members. They died. All of them, including our parents. I'm sorry, I don't remember much of it. One night, Grandma came into the room where we were sleeping, saying we had to go. The compound was in the woods, so it was dark and I could barely see, but she kept charging forward with Mai in her arms and me dragging behind. When we were back in Tokyo several days later, Grandma told me that our parents were dead. She didn't seem sad. It was as if she expected it. The government censored much of what happened, so I was never able to learn how they died. Me and Grandma didn't speak of it, ignoring it as if my childhood and everything that happened in those woods was all a bad dream. If it weren't for her, we'd probably be dead with our parents, but ignoring it couldn't erase the anger I felt towards them. I wonder if they even cared what might happen to us. As a high schooler, I spent more time trying to find out about Kamenkai than I did studying. I thought that if I could understand why my parents so willingly gave up their lives and abandoned us, I'd stop feeling so betrayed. But I was wrong. Nothing I found gave me peace.
Mom and Dad died as a part of some cult. I don't believe it.
It's true. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I guess that in hiding it from you, I was able to hide away my feelings as well. I think for Grandma it was too painful to talk about. I believe she took possession of the shrine in order to live a simpler life. We had to keep it secret. There's no way we could live a normal life with the stigma of the Kamenkai attached to us. I suppose keeping that secret hurt us both dearly. For me, pursuing kendo gave me some measure of control over my life again. But Grandma, who made a choice to leave her only daughter behind, she always seemed to carry guilt of it with her. She started going out at night, babbling about how she was looking for Mom. When she'd come home, she would have rotten stink on her clothes. I was too scared to confront her, so I tipped off the police. They found her wandering in the sewers, holding nothing but the mask, the same one from the cult compound all those years before, and the one you hold now. I was shocked when they gave it to me. I hadn't seen it for so long, and all the unpleasant memories from my past came flooding back. That was when I decided to leave Kamakura. It was the only way I could move on with my life.
That doesn't account for how the mask ended up with your grandmother in the first place.
I don't know how she got it. It seemingly appeared out of thin air. Or maybe someone gave it to her. She never said. I left the mask with her. It always made me uneasy. It had a strange aura about it.
Wait, Grandma was looking for Mom? In the sewers? I don't remember any of this.
You were in the dorms at your school at the time. Grandma's strange behavior was part of why I insisted on you going to those private schools away from Kamakura. I couldn't drag you into the madness of our past. We parted ways without ever speaking of it, and she was much better by the time you returned to Kamakura. Detective, what exactly is it that you're looking for? Surely our family's history isn't of use to you.
I assume you've heard about what happened to my partner. This mask was there again when he died. It's more than an ornament. I need to know where it came from. If that's true, then I want to help. Your partner, he seemed like a nice person. No, you've helped plenty, but I have to do this on my own.
Ito is right. I apologize for not telling you all this sooner, but you can't be involved in something so dangerous. I already thought I'd lost you that day at the shrine. I wouldn't forgive myself if something happened to you now.
Alright, thank you for finally telling me the truth, Takashi. I'll head back for now. I hope you remember that I'm your sister. I may not remember the same things you do, but we're still family. I'll see you guys later.
It looks like she's gone. Mai's not here. There's no need to be coy. No doubt taking possession of that mask has taken its toll on you. Even in the brief time I was in contact with it, I felt an immense darkness behind it. I had such strange dreams and saw things I never would have dreamed up on my own. There was always an unusual air about it that I couldn't stand to be around. Maybe lying to Mai again makes me a hypocrite. All I know is I don't want her getting hurt. But like you said, I don't believe that mask is simply wood and paint, though I doubt anyone else believe us. No one ever did, except for one man. On the street there's an old tea shop. Perhaps you saw it on your way in. An old historian named Yasuhisa. Again, I apologize for butchering the Japanese names. Is there occasionally.
He was the only one ever acknowledged what I said about the mask as the truth. If you're looking for information on the mask, he may be the best person to ask. I never pursued the topic with him, but I speak with him occasionally on other topics. His mind is a vault of valuable information. Hopefully he can shed some light on what it really is. I hope so. But please, detective, be careful. Thank you for your help and cooperation.
Welcome. Come in. Do sit down. No need to be so formal and stand there like a statue. How can I help you?
Are you Yasuhisa? Takashi told me to come speak with you.
Oh, and how is Mr. Kavanagh? Still prickly as ever, I suppose? I've always found him to be wise beyond his years, though perhaps not by choice. I digress. My apologies. It's the quirks that comes with old age, you know. What does Mr. Kavanagh think I can help you with?
I'm looking into a few things related to Kamen Kai, the group his family got mixed up in.
Ah, the more difficult answers than you might expect. You see, there are two groups that share that name. The first, as you know, is the religious group formed by the Guru Tokimasa. The second is an ancient order over thousands of years old. What's that you're holding?
I was told it's related to Kamen Kai, the newer one, and that you could tell me about it.
Ah, that explains many things, child. A far-off look in your eyes, for one. I imagine you have many, many questions. Masks are interesting, are they not? They are meant to be a disguise, and yet a mask cannot lie or contort itself to hide the truth.
We all wear masks, metaphorically speaking.
In that sense, it is the mask that is more truthful than human faces we hide underneath them. I wonder how you came to be in possession of an object with such dark history.
I think it might be related to a missing person, but I don't know anything about it beyond that.
Ah, but that itself is the essence of history. Layers upon layers of personal connections that are continuously peeled back to their root. Relics like the one you hold often take unusual roads to where they end up.
Relic? If it's from the Kamen Kai cult from the 90s, then I'd hardly call it a relic.
Misguided and deceptive as he was, Tokimasa was no fool. In order to gain new followers, he needed to give his cult historical legitimacy. He collected obscure objects and gave them new meanings that he could control in order to manipulate his followers. The mask he chose, along with the name of the group that created it. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Only, I guess I was hoping you could tell me some other things about it.
For instance?
Like why, now that I am about to say it out loud, it sounds silly. I'm sorry I bothered you.
Don't be silly. You wonder, for example, why holding the mask seems to take you to another place. Or perhaps why you can see visions that don't seem real. You might feel a strong will exerting itself on you. Oh yes, I know all about these things too.
How could you know about that?
When Tokimasa was in possession of it, he believed it showed him a path to the realm of the gods. He wrote extensively on the subject. Though, unlike most, I don't discount such phenomena as the ravings of a mad man when the phenomena repeats itself. Do you too look into the ink packness and see familiar shapes in the shadow?
Not shadows. I see and hear people who are supposed to be dead. I find things I couldn't possibly have found otherwise.
Most interesting. Tell me, detective. Oh, apologies. Do you mind if I call you that?
I don't remember telling you I was a detective.
Ha! My mistake. You must forgive me. A slip of the tongue.
Oh, and you are also, now that I look more carefully, a bit fussy. What are you, mister? Or is it my sanity just failing me?
I believe it was the way you carried yourself. Determined investigators such as yourself has such a sense of purpose in their mannerisms, you see. And you do seem rather determined to get to the bottom of whatever it is you're chasing. Tell me, does me telling you that your experiences are not an illusion provide you any level of comfort?
No, not really. I'm not sure, but I do feel something. Maybe hope? It's like I've finally got a foothold on solid ground.
Ah, yes. Knowledge is the light in the dark places, is it not? To think a relic of such import would end up with a detective. Do you mind if I ask you something? Which do you believe? Are our lives controlled by fate? Premeasured threats that determine our deeds, our wishes, and our ends. The minute we came into existence. Or, conversely, is our threat subject to the chaos inherent in our universe instead? Does it change according to our deeds and that which happens to us seemingly by accident? Do you believe it is fate or chance that decides which threads of lives are cut short and which are followed? Um, chance, fate. I'm gonna go with chance. Yes, of course. Maybe you feel your life has been somewhat out of your control as of late. Control, huh? To be honest, I don't feel like I've had much of that since the mask came to me. You said that the mask was made by the old Kamenkai. Why? Confusing me can't be the purpose it was made for. Ah, yes, a more complicated answer than you might have wished for. It should come as no surprise that the creation of such a mysterious object is equally enigmatic. Perhaps you could do me a favor. Don't worry, it is in relation to this very topic. An important book has gone missing from my shop. If you could retrieve it for me, I feel it could shine a great deal of light on the subject. What kind of book? A book of missing variety. I'm sorry, it concerns the mask bearer. Mask bearer, huh? That's me, right? Although you carry it, it does not make you its bearer. All will become clear when the book is returned to me. Sounds easy enough. Where can I start looking? Oh, you didn't go far. The man who has it is right outside this building. In fact, as I said, it's not much of an errand, but I, of course, cannot leave my shop. He's right outside. This won't take long. I'll be right back. Okay, let's check. Oh my. Yeah, everything looks pretty good. Are you the guy who has asked about the tea shop? The old tea shop next door? Isn't that place closed down? Closed? That can't be right. What else do you know about it? Pure conjecture on this one, but I think it might be owned by the kendo instructor from the dojo down the street on account of him being the only one I ever see in there. You might not believe me, but I swear I saw him in there chatting away to himself. Possibly he's a little nuts. Then again, it might be some super awesome kendo meditation technique. Oh man, why didn't I think of that before? Next time I ought to ask him for some pointers instead of spying on him, eh? I know you said it was closed, but do you know anything about a book taken from there? Maybe recently? I was led to believe you would. No? Oh jeez. Go on. Like I said, the place has been empty for years, but you know, I spend a lot of time outside it and half the time the door's wide open. So one day, a few months back, I decided to take a look around. Nothing suspicious or nothing, I was just curious is all. Curiosity killed the cat, right? Anyway, it was all dusty and old and there was all sorts of weird stuff lying around. So I might have taken a little souvenir. I mean, it wasn't super old or nothing, so I figured no one would miss it. Besides, it wasn't for me. It was for my kid brother. The guy can get deep in the dumps sometimes, so I try to be on standby for when that happens, you know. So I figured a little gift would cheer him up. And back then he was going through some particular tough times. His bitch wife, pardon my language, miss, had left him and taken their kid daughter with him. With her. He still doesn't talk about it, like he's in denial or something. Oops, got out of track again. I was heading to visit him with the ill-gotten book when I get this phone call saying he was in the hospital. He OD'd on expensive sake and sleeping pills. Thank God that idiot decided to do it in the bar he owns with the door unlocked. A customer came in and called an ambulance. If it weren't for that, I'm not sure if he'd still be there. That's quite a story. Sounds to me like he wanted to be found. Yeah, I think so too. I think he was trying to ask for help in his own way. In any case, I took the book to him while he was in hospital, tried to show him that even when he was at his lowest, there was someone out there trying to do something nice for him, you know. I think it helped, for a minute anyhow. As soon as the doctors let him leave, he went right back to that toxic little bar. I hope he's okay. He's got issues, but he's my little brother and I worry about him.
He's not been answering my phone calls lately. Originally, my brother's bitch ex-wife, sorry again, had the brilliant idea to put his skills to work in a cheap part of town. Despite that, he's holding on to it with everything he's got. The place is slowly bankrupting him, but he won't let it go. All he has to do is sign some papers and move on, but he can't. Something about it has its claws sunk deep into him. I've been trying to get him to join me in my business for years. He's a great chef and we could make a killing. Maybe it's not the same as owning a whole bar, but serving passers-by and getting some sunshine is good for the soul. Plus, food stands are doing really well abroad, I hear. Maybe much better than wasting away in Shinjuku at any rate. Shinjuku? Yeah, in a slimy little side street. Anyway, if that book is important to you, he's probably still got it at his place. You want the address?
Wait, I knew you looked familiar. Your brother's Daiso, right?
You know him? Small world. Was probably the smile on my face that threw you off. Tell him his brother Haruto says hi. While you're at it, tell him that takoyaki stands are still the future of the cuisine and to get his butt over here.
I'll do that. Thanks for all your help.
Hey, Ayami, how can I help you today? I'm pretty sure this was the voice I gave him too.
Hey Daiso, how are things?
Same old, same old.
Funny thing, I met your brother while I was in Asakusa today.
What are the chances?
Who knows, it was pretty random.
Huh, who would have thought? So, is he still selling takoyaki at his stands? Did he say anything?
He is. He said to remind you that takoyaki stands are the future of cuisine and that you should go and help him.
Yeah, you talked to Naruto, alright. Always the optimist, that guy.
I actually have a favor to ask you. Do you still have the book your brother gave you a few months ago?
The only thing that guy gives me is headaches. Not sure if I can help you, Ayami.
He said he gave it to you when you were in the hospital.
Oh, well, yeah. What makes you think I was in the hospital? I don't even go to the hospital for checkups. Besides, that dolt's bringing me stuff all the time. Always trying to drag me kicking and screaming over where the grass is greener.
This would have been more recently. After a rough patch. Maybe it was stupid to come and ask.
Oh, no, it's fine. That idiot. Always running his mouth. Freaking traitor. Those were just some hard times. Nothing serious. I just drank too much is all. I'm sorry, detective, but I don't want to talk about it. Alright, understood. I'm not here to dig up bad memories, Daiso. Thanks. You said you were looking for a book, right? Truth is, I don't remember a book. I do remember Haruto giving me an old magazine, though, back in the hospital. It was one of the ones I used to read when I was younger, when things weren't quite so complicated. Wait there a second, I may have it in the storeroom still. Dang it, sorry Ayami, hold on a sec. Amazing how much junk someone accumulates over the years. Maybe I should throw some of this old stuff out, huh? Here it is.
Ah, there is Reina. Hello, girl.
It's yours, detective. Huh. Hey, no wonder I recognize the photo you brought by. It's the same girl, an idol named Ruby.
Reina.
No, Ruby. See? It says so right there on the cover. Pretty crazy that it was still in my shop. Guess that means you're still looking for her. I wonder why we keep running into each other.
Weird luck, I guess?
Nah, I don't buy it. You're a hell of a detective. You must have a pretty sharp nose. If you say so, Daiso. Do you mind if I take this? Like I said, it's yours. About time I started to get rid of some of my old junk.
Thank you.
See you around, Ayami.
Take care, Daiso.
Hello, sir. Oh, welcome, detective. Is that my book I see in your hands? Guess I'm a little surprised. Are you trying to tell me Reina is the mask bearer you talked about? That is hard to believe. Does it surprise you? After all, it is she who you see in the dark, is it not?
The dark. That's what the collector called it too. How'd Reina get tied up in all this?
I only know that somehow the girl's path and the masks collided as if by chance. What circumstances led to this intersection are a mystery, I'm afraid. People always see history as something in the distant past, involving old men and black and white pictures. But that book and that girl are as much a part of history as the rest. The threads that connect the past to the present and people to each other are not always apparent. But peel back the layers of connection, the randomness of our universe neatly orders itself. A teen idol, an ancient order, the tool they created, and the detective who holds it now, all forming a neat tiny line. Reina was some sort of idol living in Tokyo, not part of a sleeper cell of some cult. It doesn't add up. On that, detective, we can agree. So why don't we start at the beginning? To how the mask ceased to be a mere object. The story starts in ancient times in the year 1333. At that time, Kamakura was the capital of Japan. Led by the Hojo clan, it was a time of peace, prosperity, and enlightenment. Peace among men is cyclical, and like so many before them and so many after, their time of peace came to an end. The Nida clan, loyal to Emperor Go-Daigo, led a siege against the Hojo-controlled Kamakura, taking the city as the tide receded, leaving the key passage open to the invaders. The Hojo clan fled to the caves of their family temple. For them, there was no hope of victory or escape. They chose to retain their honor. Instead of surrendering, 870 Hojo samurai, including the last 3 regents, committed mass suicide. Lovely. However, the Hojo and Nida clans, broiled in their quest for empire, could not see the role they played in the plans of another group, the religious sect known as the Kamenkai. It is said that in the flames of Kamakura, a girl was seen wandering the streets, observing the carnage of the burning city. A girl lost to the histories by the name of Chikako Shichicho? Shichicho? I don't know. Sorry. Last survivor of the Kamenkai. Okay, so whatever the Kamenkai were trying to do, they failed. I mean, they all died, right? No, they did not fail. Everything went exactly as planned. Chichicho did not survive by chance. She was chosen. Chosen for what? To receive the blessing of all the spiritual energy that so much death afforded, to become the first mask bearer. Mask bearer. The common guy used the death of all those people to create this. Why? Legend has it that Kamenkai sought to contain the door, a rift leading to the spiritual realm, where our consciousness ceases to be and time holds no meaning, a place where cause and effect could be changed. Why? Why spend so much human life and give up so much to do that? To stop it from being abused. Imagine being able to see the world as a god, so that the flow of time and rules which govern our world are of no consequence. This is the power of the door. To the mortal mind obsessed with the finality of death and meaningless accomplishment, such power would corrupt absolutely. The power over death. So, a dark place was created to obscure the door and hide it from mortal eyes, along with a tool to control and see within the darkness. It's true. All of it. It sounds like a fairy tale, but it's true. Finding the door could be the key to bringing Tanaka back. Some doors, no matter how strong they call to us, are not meant to be opened, and the Kamenkai willingly gave their lives to keep it that way. The mask opens the mind to all who come in contact with it, but it is intended for its bearer. Using it to find the door may destroy you. Maybe you're right, but I could at least use it to find my way in the dark, just like the collector said. The only thing I don't get it is how Reina is connected to it. That is the mystery. As Mr. Coven told you, the last known location of the mask was the Kamenkai cult only a few decades ago. Much was suppressed about Kamenkai under Tokimasa. They existed, and then, on March 4th, 1996, they met their end. There were many theories that the police killed them during their raid of the compound, or that someone within the cult had snapped and murdered the others. The real answer lies somewhere deep within police records, and though I remain curious, it's not something I have access to. Perhaps the best place to start is there. Finding out about the last days of the Kamenkai may help light your path to the truth. Though I wonder if such an object, bred from suffering, can truly put an end to it. Is it you who can finally break this terrible cycle? I've spent a long time here. I'm tired. So tired. Farewell, detective. Sitting there comfortably, the historian Yasuhisa casually laid out everything that I've been experiencing like he was reading it out of a book. A mass suicide, agent groups, and a door to the spiritual realm. It sounds like a myth, an interesting story told to travelers in a bygone era. It's hard to believe it relates to Kazuki and Reina. I can't see it. A bridge between Kamakura samurai and a young girl. He said Reina fit into the story. She is a mask bearer. But how? Yasuhisa, the collector. I thought when I'd met them, I'd entered their world and could start to understand, however faintly. But my situation as a detective tells me they're hiding something from me still. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I need to keep going. What day is it anyway? How long have I been chasing these leads? A couple of days probably. Day turns into night. The hours bleed into each other. Even the seasons don't seem to follow the natural order anymore. Everything is blurring together. Oh, my head. Maybe I should take my medication. Impossible as it seems, following the old man's hunch is my best bet to finally understanding the mask. Even Takashi didn't know what happened to the Kamigai. Finding the police report is the way forward. A few weeks ago, it would have been easy for me to ask around and pull a file. It'll be a bit more difficult now, I imagine. What's the worst thing that can happen? I should head to police HQ and see what I can find. I think I'm going to end this episode of Tokyo Dark right here. This seems like a good point. Lots of information again in this episode, and I'm not entirely sure if the collector and the historian that I talked to were like actually real people. They seem to be funny. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this episode. If you liked it, let me know. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again next time.